Next shrine is Papazotl. Uh, I have no idea if I'm saying that correctly, but that seems right, so we'll go with Papazotl. Like most of the shrines, there are animals outside. In this case, they don't actually match the shrine animal or the trickster god, but there are four bog standard crocodiles and one giant crocodile. Interestingly, as the players approach 16A, it notes that the crocodiles attack uh, if they are attacked. Or it says that the giant crocodile's mother actually attacks if they are attacked. So I think you can leave this one open to interpretation. This is one where the way I played it was letting the players kind of take the lead on whether they wanted to fight a bunch of crocodiles or not, which ended up with crocodiles and players staring at each other and the players moseying on in. But as the players come up, you can handle the crocodiles however you like. There is a plaque above this one that I think makes absolutely no sense, but you can read it and figure it out. Maybe I'm just really bad at reading these plaques, but I don't think this one makes sense. It says bow before no one. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything in this shrine. But so once they get to the door, uh, they can go up these moss-covered steps to area 16B. We have our mosaic displaying the Papazotl part of the Legend of the Nine Gods. And then we have some unlocked doors. This room is kind of a red herring. There's really not a whole lot going on in here. You just get another mural for the nine gods. So if your characters like that, that's cool. If they don't care about the legend, they get to hear another part of the legend anyway. And then the doors can be pushed open by a combined strength score of 20 or higher. I'm not sure why, but there it is. Then they come into the next room, which has an empty pedestal standing in the middle of the chamber. There are six statues facing it from alcoves on the wall. And then this is where, again, the map I don't think necessarily uh, matches with uh, the description. It says from left to right. I don't know what that means in this context because I would think that you would actually be reading this kind of clockwise or counterclockwise. Because the order they give is lizard, jaguar, lobster, toucan, bat, and frog. The important part is that the bat is the middle statue on the right side of the room, and I don't think from that order that makes sense. So you may just want to, uh, for yourself, mark down which is which. The only one that really matters is bat, and make sure it's the middle one on the right wall. The reason for this is on the pedestal there is a riddle. And the answer to riddle is shadow. This is a pretty simple riddle. I think most people will get it pretty quickly. I know my parties did. Um, so anyway, you'll figure out there's a shadow. What that is supposed to reveal to them is if they cast light on all of these statues, like a torch or something, they will see behind the bat that there is a shadow. Um, Interestingly, if you have night vision or dark vision or low light vision, it doesn't really say how to handle that. So I also made a tweak to this where I said that the bat statue looks like it had been moved, and that gave them another way to figure this out. Because then they moved the statue back and they found the secret passageway that leads to Area 16D. And this tunnel is a little tunnel that medium creatures can still manage to get through. And then in the other room on the south wall is a mosaic of tiles. And that mosaic is kind of the hint for the rest of this. That's not the right one. Let's do Papazotl. Here we go. So this is the mosaic. And what you're supposed to derive from this is that you're supposed to put the letters of the riddle into these tiles in order. And that gives you another clue that is cover eyes. Um, I'm not sure if it's all that apparent ever what that's supposed to mean, although one of my parties did figure it out. The other one had no real clue. Um, it was interesting. I found both parties spent a lot of time trying to figure out if this was a magical mosaic, if they could move the mosaic, da 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 da. I also had uh, interestingly, I think the hardest part of this was I realized that some of my players uh, had not grown up seeing puzzles like this. Um, I immediately recognized this because of how old I am. I used to see stuff like this in the newspaper because I used to get newspapers, right? Uh, that said, if you haven't seen, the section of the newspaper that has all of the word and logic puzzles, this may just look like nonsense to a lot of people, especially if they're on the younger side of the age spectrum. So coming up with creative ways to kind of help them figure out what is supposed to happen here might be useful. But so if they figure it out and get the cover eyes clue, if they cover the eyes of all 6 statues, then the puzzle cube uh, comes out of the pedestal and they can take it. And that's the whole shrine. Uh, I'm not sure I like this one as much as I do some of the others because I think the second and the third clues are kind of obtuse to a point where if you're not in the right frame of mind, I think it could be very hard. I have definitely seen two different groups just struggle with various parts of this. Um, to a degree that it was no longer fun. It was just straight up like I'd have no idea what shadow means in this context. I have no idea what this random set of mosaic tiles is supposed to tell me. So again, yet another case where either reminding players that they can use their character statistics to maybe make rolls to figure out if they can figure it out if they're not used to doing that, or uh, perhaps having a NPC give some advice to help solve it um, could be very helpful here. I think that those have been the key takeaways for me. Um, yeah, so not a lot of combat, just making sure you understand the riddles and how to help coax the players along that path. Those are the main takeaways for this one. So thanks for watching, and we're getting close to the end of these shrines.